Well, it's a fantastic job. The folks that have preserved the depot have done a wonderful job. We'll walk around here. Union Civil War encampment in Scottsboro. In late December 1863, Union Major General John Logan established his 15th Army Corps headquarters in Scottsboro, Alabama. On January 11, 1864, by command of General Logan, Brigadier General Ewing, commander of the 4th Division, was ordered to guard the railroad and telegraph line of Scottsboro to Stevenson. General Ewing sent his 1st Brigade under the command of Colonel Reuben Williams to Scottsboro, and it set up 4 separate regimental camps on either side of the Memphis and Charleston Railroad, adjacent to or within 1 block of the Scottsboro depot. The regiments under Colonel Williams' command include some 3,000 men, the 26th Illinois, the 7th Ohio, 12th Indiana, and the 97th Indiana, as well as Illinois Artillery. After the war, Colonel Williams returned to Indiana and established the Warsaw Daily Times. In his 1904 Civil War memoir, he included an in-depth description of the facilities created within the Scottsboro encampment and his troops' military and social activities between December 26, 1863 and May 1, 1864. In the early spring of 1864, Colonel Williams coordinated a successful dance in a building located on Main Street, now Maple Avenue, this is Maple Avenue right here. That served as Scottsboro's first school and church. He wrote that the site was large enough for the waltz and gavotte. The dance was attended by the officers and their visiting wives. Enlisted men and local ladies were transported by military ambulances to the Scottsboro encampment. Alabama Historical Association, 2013. Well, I'm impressed. The Scottsboro Depot Museum.
Hey, how are y'all? You?
Most of these
All this is everything that I had found right here. Let me get all this out of the way. This I did not. I did find that. I was curious about that little picket bullet. Found that over in that ditch. I'm gonna give all my secrets out today.
I got you.
Which to me it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as it's preserved, saved, that's all that matters to me. But I found the heel plate right there, over here where the 97th was. That's that little cuff button that
right.
Tina did in the story.
I read that.
When they told them to start making arms, and they started making them, the brass content was very high and very, very heavy. And what you can do with this is really interesting. You can take this apart and feel. And they think that this was a very early 1861 production because of the high brass content.
Right.
Feel how heavy that is.
Where do you think this was?
The guys that I talked to that have been, dealing, for 30, 40 years think that it was made in North Carolina. So whether it was, we will never know. Very early production, and something that I'm going to talk about in the meeting is,
right.
The guys were gung-ho at first. Beginning of the war, would love to have a sword like this, but these were a lot more practical.
That's right. That's a typical camp Bowie knife.
Yeah, and that's a Sheffield, Sheffield, England or whatever. That was the most common made. one that they gave out. But that's something that I want to talk about today is that, you know, these are beautiful, heavy, would do a lot of destruction, but were they ever truly used? Probably not very often.
Hey, close combat?
Oh, they would.
They
They would have done
used.
some. But you know, when they marched, that was something that they talked about with the D guards. You know, the Georgia
Right.
D guards and all that. That they found so many of them that were just discarded after the first 6 or 7 months after they walked and marched so far. It just wasn't as useful as a knife like this, and they had a gun. So a lot of times they found these D guards and Bowie knives just thrown over on the side of the old road beds because I guess hitting your leg and bringing you down.
Where'd you come up this pike at?
I got it in Dalton, Georgia.
That's another rare item.
That's super rare.
Something you don't.
Well, and especially with the shaft, as you can tell. See, it actually starts here,
Right,
goes all
right.
the way to the very tip,
Super. That's super.
and then the sides go up just to reinforce it. But you can see how ergonomically correct it is. Smaller
Right, right.
here to where you can charge in.
A weapon that's been used for centuries.
Yes.
Eons.
And that's something that's written in
Yeah.
is that, some things that are good never change. The movie Glory with the 54th Massachusetts.
Right.
One of the officers had written after they tried to attack Fort Wagner, and in the movie it doesn't portray it, which it would have been pretty gory, but after they ran through the moat, the side of the sand went up.
Right.
And what they did was they had hundreds of pikes about 2 inches underneath the sand on the side. And when they went running in, of course they were under fire with the Confederates. They dove into the side to try to get away, and when they did, they impaled themselves.
Of course, Fort Wagner was never
was.
overran.
No. But that would be a gory way to die.
Absolutely. Painful. Very painful, too. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to your presentation. No doubt.
A lot of these letters of mine, and I'm going to kind of
Go over
try
there.
to talk about, how their perception of Scottsboro or Larkinsville or, Paint Rock or whatever, in their mind is just as beautiful of a place as we think of it as today.
Yeah.
In one letter it speaks about this time of the year where the cherry blossoms are blooming and how pretty it was. The father's thought of, being away from war, but it's just neat reading their perspective of our county and our city.
Hey, our county's rich in history, no doubt.
Oh, my mama.
So I remember coming in here when this was about the only display the museum had. It's come a long way.